Welcome to this episode of TCEA Remote Learning. Remember, you can find tons of great video tutorials at tcea.org/remote learning. My name is Miguel Gulen. I'm a Director of Professional Development for TCEA, and I just quickly want to remind you that from now until May 8th, 2020, you can get a free one-year membership in TCEA. This free membership includes all of our online learning, resources, networking, and other features. And if you work in public school, private school, homeschool, teacher, administrator, librarian, counselor, or technician, anyone working in education is invited to join. Also note that some of our TCEA special interest groups, also known as SIGs, are free for a limited time. Make an effort to join one of these special interest groups. It's well worth your time. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be covering today. Our topic for today is sharing content via Seesaw. If you're not familiar with sharing content via Seesaw, we're going to walk through a few ways that you can do that within the program. Our focus today is really going to be on the web interface to Seesaw rather than iPad or mobile device. We'll be talking about different types of Seesaw apps, the importance of home learning codes, and then sharing links and video content with students. There's also Seesaw learning activities and where you can find additional resources relevant to Seesaw. Finally, we'll take a quick look at how you can check to see if Seesaw is working or not. But let's quickly talk about the types of Seesaw apps that are available. There are two apps that many teachers, family, and students use. The first app is the class app, and students will use their home learning codes in this app. Since all students are learning from home for remote learning, being able to have access to home learning codes is important. We'll talk about what those are in just a second. But what we do want to emphasize here is that students need to log into on whatever device, whether it's the web, whether it's a iPad or Android app on a phone or a tablet, using the class app. Now, family members will definitely want to use the family app. This is Seesaw Family. This is actually a completely separate or different app. So when we look at class, the class app, you'll see that you can access this. It says, the title of it is Look for Seesaw the Learning Journal in your app stores. What sometimes happens is that families or parents will get the family app and they'll think, okay, this is everything we need. And then students will be trying to and teachers will be trying to communicate via family when they really need to be using class. The Seesaw Family app actually includes an introduction to Seesaw for families. You can watch that video. It's available through YouTube, and you'll be able to get more information on it. Notice that it's available for all sorts of devices, from iOS to Android, Kindle Fire, as well as computers and laptops. Again, it's important to distinguish between these two. The class app is used by students, and the teachers use the class app to get assignments out to them. Family and parents will use this app to access any communications the teacher sends out, and they will need to be invited or be given a special account. Usually that invitation letter comes through their phone, like a phone number or an email. Now, as we've moved into this with COVID-19, we've moved into remote learning, and Seesaw has worked hard to make this available for students so that they're able to use what are called home learning codes. And basically what happens is that your school administrator enables the home learning code. And as you can see here, your Seesaw for Schools administrator can enable teachers' ability to get the home learning codes. So whomever is your administrator, your Seesaw for Schools administrator, you must turn on the home learning codes. If you look, here's just a quick excerpt of some of the instructions on how to do that. But what will happen is that teachers will get the codes and they'll have to download a comma delimited, also known as a CSV file. They can use these codes, they can email them out one at a time, or they can use bulk emailer like Yet Another Mail Merge on Google, or they can take advantage of Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word to do an email merge to send that out. The easiest way, though, I think, is to use Yet Another Mail Merge. And if you need more help on that, just check the TCEA Tech Notes blog. I have a whole blog entry on mail merge or email merge that you can follow. And in fact, one of our later episodes actually covers how to do a mail merge using the Seesaw home learning codes. So it's important to have these home learning codes because they are unique to each student and they prevent students from seeing each other's work. In fact, Seesaw has shared that there's a difference between class codes, which is what we would use when we were connecting maybe an iPad in the classroom. We have a room full of iPads or Chromebooks and students are connecting, and they would typically use a class code. This is one text that you can share with all students when they first sign in to Seesaw. But home learning codes are what you should be using for remote learning. So if your students are working from home and you're expecting to stay in communication with them, they should be signing in with the home learning codes. These are unique to each student and they prevent accidental logins or posting as other students. And by default, Seesaw has set it up so that students cannot see each other's work. That's important because you don't want parents of one child seeing the work of another child's. We want to make sure that we stay within FERPA. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the learning activities in Seesaw. As you can see, Seesaw has actually organized quite an extensive library of activities to sort of support you in your work. In fact, they have learning activities, that document may be a little bit too busy right now, but learning activities by subject and grade. And if you just go into the activity library, which is in Seesaw, you'll be able to see lots of different activities. Now, your activity library is actually organized into three main areas: community, school and district, and my library. So as you might imagine, these are differentiated for your particular school district, and then any items that you've decided to archive or share. So if I jump over to an actual Seesaw site, and please note that all the students here are fake, they're not real students. You can see that I can come over here to my dash and click on activities, and I'll be able to browse this activity library that's going to have so many different resources that I can share with my students. So if I were working with bilingual students, I could come down here to ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And then assign that activity to more than all my classes that I might have. As you can see, I have a few different classes here. The one I'm working with right now is collaboration projects, so I could come in and assign it to my entire collaboration projects, but I could assign it to multiple classes if I wanted to. So this is great because it means that if I have several groups of students that are in the same grade level or where this activity might be appropriate, I can assign it to it. So this activity has been assigned, and if I click on View Activity and Collaboration Projects, now we can see that my students have access to this. Notice that when I view activities, I actually see them right here under Activities, and I can see them, and they are available there. Now, if you're curious about how Seesaw works, I really want to encourage you to take advantage of the videos that the Seesaw team has put together. Angela Gadke and others have really done a phenomenal job of putting together these videos, and they also have slide decks that have embedded videos. So for example, if you're already using Seesaw, you can get the slide deck, and if you scroll down, you'll see all of the great resources, and they have put in some, like I said, embedded some videos here that you can actually watch that will guide you through this. So for example, here's an embedded video on how to get the codes, the home learning codes. So you can just click on that, and it will play a 2-minute video. As you might imagine, those are pretty straightforward, but there are also a lot more videos on YouTube that can expand your understanding of how to use Seesaw. Now, one of the things that can be a little challenging for folks is how to add activities for students, or create information and share information with students. So all you need to do is find your way to the journal and click on Add, and you can see that you have the ability to post student work, assign activity, or send an announcement. So the question that usually pops up is, how do I add links or multimedia to this announcement? Well, first of all, you're going to decide who you're going to send this to. And if you want everybody to be aware and to get this message, you would send it to all students and family members. That means parents would get it as well as the students. So it would be like notifications going off in that house. Parents would get it on their family app, their Seesaw family app, and students would see it on their class app. If we just want students to see this, we can just click on All Students and then type in a short announcement. We can also add a variety of content. And this is pretty much where the magic happens in Seesaw, where you can add all sorts of content. You can click on Add a Photo. And by the way, if you click on Add a Photo, you're essentially just taking a photo, a picture. So if you're standing in front of your camera, you're actually taking a picture of yourself. And that's true of video as well. So you can record video instructions or take a photo of maybe your pet, a pet show and tell, some kind of activity, whatever you'd like to share with them. So this provides some really nice opportunities for sharing content. If you want to, you can also drop in a drawing, or if you've already pre-created something, maybe you did something in Google Drive or Google Docs, or you have a photo that you took with your phone and you saved it to your computer, or maybe a video, you can just click on Upload and you'll be able to share whatever that content is. If you want to just drop a note, you can do that as well, or share a link. So for example, if I wanted to share a link, I could just type in and once I've typed in that link, I can click on the Submit button, and it's going to attach the link to that announcement that I haven't written a message for, but will appear in just a second. Now what it did right there was it went out and got a preview of the website that I pulled up. That makes it a little bit more visually engaging and easy to access. So I can come down here and choose Record, and when I click on the button to begin recording, it's actually going to record a message. Hi, thanks for looking at this announcement. I just wanted to make you aware that TCEA has added a whole bunch of great resources to their remote learning site. The site just launched today, and you can get access to all of the videos and resources that are available on this site by going to this website. And if you're an educator, you can become a member of TCEA for 1 year at no additional cost. It's completely free, no cost, by clicking on the Join Now button. I hope you'll take advantage of this wonderful offer. Okay, as you can see, I've recorded my message, and now it's processing my audio, and it will hopefully post that soon. So if I wanted to preview it, I can click on Preview. And so I would be able to listen to the 39 seconds of audio that I recorded, and if I'm happy with it, then I just come up here and click on this green button with a white check mark. Otherwise, I would click on that X and wipe it out. If I wanted to save a copy of that audio, I could come here and download it, and it would save a copy of that audio as an MP3 file. That way I have access to it offline if I wanted to send it as an email attachment and say, hey team, I just sent this announcement out along with this website, and I thought you might want to listen to the audio that I recorded for it. I'm going to click on the check mark, and I've now attached that. You can see that I have that item attached down there at the bottom. I have a link and audio. So I've typed in a really short message. It's going to go out to 18 students, and I'm going to click on Send Now. Notice that this is going to appear in the inbox for messages, and it has gone out to all my students, and it appears under Student Announcements because I sent it only to my students. I didn't send it to family announcements. Now, if I come back to my journal, I can see that Class Journal shows me everything that's posted and everything here. I have divided up for groups. But if I come in and check out Juan, he doesn't have anything. If I wanted to quickly add something here, I could click on Add and post student work. And this is where I could just leave them a quick note. Hi Juan, I notice you have been quiet. Could you record a short video sharing what you're working on today? And then I can just come in here and select Juan, and Juan is the only student who's going to get this. I click on that, and now I have information there. So pretty powerful information. I think one of the other things that I really like about the class journal is that you can come in, and if you find something that you want to share with the world, maybe you want to let parents see all the students' work that's great to share, or show it off to the education community, you can actually publish things to the blog. And you can do that by just coming right down here. And even though there's like and comments that you can leave within the journal, you can also come in and click on that little world, and it will actually take you to the blog. And so if I were to share this link right here that appears, blog.seesaw.me/tot17, it's actually going to show all of these student projects that in this case happen to be teachers that have been pre-created. So it's a really powerful way for students to capture video, share ideas in a safe environment. They publish it and share it. You see it in the class journal, but you decide if it gets shared with the world and becomes available. And then you can also come in and as I said, you can leave specific comments. So if I were to come down here and go to Jessica, you can see I don't have any notes for her, but Juan has a note and Pablo has a note, and so as a result, they're able to see this, but no one else is. Some other things to keep in mind is that Seesaw has Seesaw Help Live, and if you go, you'll see there's some great resources at their website. They're on every day from at least Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have any questions, you can just go in and jump into that chat or conversation. And as you can see here, they have resources for teachers, administrators, and families. Some other neat things that I wanted to, or one more thing that I wanted to throw out there is, if you're not familiar with text shortcuts, if you ever want your kids who may, especially your younger ones, who don't know what the icon is, don't know what the words are, maybe, background or highlighter just doesn't work, you can get them comfortable with the icons, and sometimes pictures will help. All you have to do is type in the text shortcut. So for example, if I wanted a photo icon to appear, I would just type in : photo : and that would insert the icon for you. So just a quick way to point that out. The last thing I wanted to share with you is Seesaw status. I don't know if you know, but Seesaw was down on March 30th, which was kind of ironic since that was the day I was recording this video. But when you click on Seesaw status, you get a message that says all systems operational. And this is great because sometimes if there are connectivity issues for students and or parents or even yourself, you can go to status.seesaw.me and check to see, is it Seesaw or is it me? And then you'll have an answer for that. Folks, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Seesaw has a lot of great resources, and you can find those online at app.seesaw.me. But you can also reach out to me via Twitter at mglearn or email mgulen@tca.org. And please allow me to invite you to visit tca.org/remote learning. There's a little hyphen there, so you may not want to leave that out. Thank you for listening to today's session. Take care.